हाय एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू क्वांट्यूज। आज हमारे साथ है शंकर। शंकर ने अपनी बैचलर्स इन फिजिक्स एंड मास्टर्स इन फिजिक्स की गुरु नानक देव यूनिवर्सिटी से, एंड यू नो व्हाट, ही टॉप द यूनिवर्सिटी इन बोथ द कोर्सेज। और सिर्फ यही नहीं, उनका आज तक का स्कोर जो है वो यूनिवर्सिटी के टॉप लिस्टेड स्कोर्स में से एक है, एंड इट हैज बीन अनबीटेबल। वाओ, राइट? Shankar is currently pursuing his PhD from Australian National University. तो आपके मन में भी बहुत क्वेश्चंस होंगे शंकर के लिए कि उन्होंने ये सब कैसे किया, टॉपर भी, उसके बाद PhD के लिए ऑस्ट्रेलियन यूनिवर्सिटी। आपके इन सभी क्वेश्चंस को आंसर करने के लिए वील बिकम योर वॉइस टुडे। एंड आइए शंकर से इन सभी क्वेश्चंस के बारे में पूछते हैं कि उन्होंने कैसे यूनिवर्सिटी में टॉप किया और उसके बाद अप्लाई किया, ऑस्ट्रेलियन यूनिवर्सिटी में एडमिशन भी पाया। सो लेट्स वेलकम शंकर। हाय शंकर, हाउ आर यू डूइंग?
Hello everyone. Hi, I'm good. How are you?
So Shankar, where are you these days? Can you please tell our audience?
Yes, so basically these days I'm doing my PhD in Australian National University. So Australian National University is, as the name says, it's an Australian university. So it is in Australian capital, Canberra. So I am right now in my third year of PhD.
Okay, that's great, Shankar. And what's your area of research?
So my area of research is basically applied nuclear physics. So we are using the application of nuclear physics in material sciences. So I'm working on the development of solid state membranes for biological sensing. So we will be using these special kind of membranes for different biological sensors. For example, detection of acetone, which is a biomarker for diabetes. So such kind of applications.
Wow, that's great, Shankar. So Shankar, आज का हमारा इंटरव्यू का जो प्राइमरी मोटिव है is we want to know how you chose a university to apply abroad. आपने किस तरह से शॉर्टलिस्ट की यूनिवर्सिटीज, आपने कैसे अप्लाई किया, हम इसके बारे में आपसे जानना चाहते हैं, सो दैट आवर ऑडियंस कैन गेट गाइडेंस लाइक MSc एंड BSc के बाद वो कैसे अप्लाई करें PhD के लिए इफ दे वांट टू गो आउटसाइड द कंट्री। तो सबसे पहले शंकर, आई वांट टू आस्क यू कि फर्स्ट स्टेप, अब I have completed my masters for example, I want to apply PhD outside the country. तो first step जो होगा, what should I do in the primary step? For the primary step, what should I do?
So basically जब हम PhD की बात करते हैं, जहाँ किसी भी रिसर्च रिलेटेड डिग्री की बात करते हैं, so it all depends on different countries. So हर country का एक different criteria है. So for example, we can divide like the whole world into 3 or 4 parts depending upon the criteria. So first is US and Canada. So US और Canada की जब बात करें, obviously you need GRE for that. So you have to give both GRE English as well as regarding to your subject. If it is physics, then GRE physics. And after you have given a good and got good successful GRE marks, then you have to contact the professor. And when the professor agrees, so you have to send emails, or you can, if you have good, if you have done like a research project earlier to that, and that professor has some links, he can help you. But if you don't have any links, then you have to contact the professor via email, and then you have to basically convince them to take you as a student. And in this conversation, like when you apply, when you send an email, your CV matters a lot, your research experience matters a lot. So this was for US and Canada. And then when we talk about Europe as well as Australia, New Zealand, for these you don't need any exam or GRE or anything. But that means your CV needs to be very, very good. So if you are applying to in the top universities in these countries, if you don't have a research paper during your bachelor's and master's, it's a little bit tough to get admission from a student directly from India. So there are other options, like for students who don't have a research project or research or haven't published a research paper during their master's or bachelor's, which we can go through. And then the third one is Asia. In Asia, there are obviously 2 or 3 big countries where you potentially want to apply, and those are Korea, obviously South Korea, Japan, and Singapore. I won't suggest you to apply to China because of the language issues and stuff, but these 3 countries are really nice. So if you talk about Korea, the criteria is similar to Europe and Australia. For Japan and Singapore, you have to give GRE, and the criteria is similar to US and Canada. So if you are thinking to apply for a PhD, first you need to select a country. That what is your aim for the country? And if you are applying everywhere, then you obviously have to tick all the boxes for all the countries. Then the second thing is which field you want to apply for. And when selecting a field and when selecting a university, especially when you are selecting a professor, you need to be realistic. So for example, if I don't have very good marks or I don't have very good research papers or research experience, I would suggest don't go for the top 10 universities, because you're just wasting your time. So it's very, very important to be realistic, and you have to start your application like 6-7 months before you want to start your PhD. So we can go into more detail about these subjects.
First thing I want to ask to you is, you said you should have done research in some field before you apply, and preferably published a paper too, which is not possible, I guess, for everyone and not easy for everyone. So first of all, I would like to ask you, what all fields of research did you explore while your bachelor's and your master's, and did you publish a paper? And if yes, how can others also follow your step?
Yeah, so अब जब मैं अपनी BSc की फर्स्ट ईयर की बात करता हूँ, so when I was like looking into research internship and research projects within India, तो मुझे कोई क्लू नहीं था कि मैं न्यूक्लियर फिजिक्स करूँ, मटेरियल साइंस करूँ, कंप्यूटेशनल फिजिक्स करूँ, सॉलिड स्टेट फिजिक्स, कंडेंस्ड मैटर फिजिक्स. मुझे कोई आइडिया नहीं था, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली जब तक किसी चीज़ को हमने एक्सपीरियंस ही नहीं किया, हाउ कैन यू चूज एनीथिंग. सो एक तो जब हम रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट्स या रिसर्च इंटर्नशिप्स की बात करते हैं, सो दे आर रियली रियली हेल्पफुल फॉर यू इन चूजिंग व्हाट यू लाइक और व्हाट यू डोंट लाइक. फॉर एग्जांपल, एज एन एग्जांपल, अगर मान लो कि मुझे कोई एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, सो मैं रैंडम फील्ड में चला गया और मुझे वो रैंडम फील्ड पसंद ही नहीं आई, तो इट इज लाइक वेस्टिंग योर टाइम एंड उस यूनिवर्सिटी का टाइम और उस प्रोफेसर का टाइम. सो उससे अच्छा ये है कि आप 2 या महीने के जो रिसर्च इंटर्नशिप या रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, उसके थ्रू आपको पता लग जाता है कि यू नो व्हाट यू कैन डू. So that's why, like, I did my research projects in different fields in the very starting. For example, in BSc, after BSc first year during the summer holidays, तो मैं IUAC यूनिवर्सिटी एक्सेलरेटर सेंटर न्यू दिल्ली में मैंने प्रोजेक्ट किया अपनी रिसर्च इंटर्नशिप की. ऑफ IITs, these research institutes, they host these research projects and internships. So I would suggest all the students to go there. And then I went to IISc and JCSMR, and then I went to INST, which is in Mohali, along with IISER Mohali after my BSc third year. And after my master's first year, I went to France, Paris, at École Polytechnique, and there I did again in nuclear physics, because I was liking both nuclear and material science. And क्योंकि मेरा इन दोनों फील्ड में एक्सपीरियंस था, that's why I got admission in a interdisciplinary field. So it is quite advantageous. So regarding research papers, again, it's obviously it depends upon your luck. For example, अगर जैसे जो मेरा BSc की फर्स्ट ईयर की इंटर्नशिप थी, I won't expect कि मेरा उसमें कोई रिसर्च पेपर पब्लिश हो, because that was for more like exposure कि रिसर्च करते कैसे हैं. Because research is very, very different from what we do experiments in our labs during our bachelor's and master's. You have more freedom, but obviously you have more responsibilities as well. So it helps you in a lot of way. But research papers का ये सीन है कि जैसे जैसे आप अच्छे से अच्छे इंस्टीट्यूट और अच्छे से अच्छे रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट पे काम करते हो, so your research gets noticed. So through these research projects, I got 2 papers during my bachelor's and master's, and these research papers helped me in getting admission further in PhD.
That's nice. So, but Shankar, research paper hai, that's why that helped you in getting into PhD. But it's not necessary that everyone could do a project. Can they still apply and be hopeful that they'll get admission into a good university outside?
Yes, definitely. So I won't say that you will get admission in MIT, but if we are reasonable, you can easily get admission if you have a valid and relative research experience. Doesn't matter if you have a research paper or not, but if you have research experience, which is very, very important, then you can get admission in a good university. But without research experience, frankly, it will be quite hard for anyone to take you because they don't know you. So that's why, like, most of the universities, we have like these master's project. So कोई किसी भी तरह का आपके पास research experience है, that will count, and it's not necessarily, it's obviously good to have research publications, but it's not necessity to have these research publications for these admissions.
Okay, Shankar, now let's say I have some research experience, or I may not have some research experience. What is the next step? Now I have shortlisted the universities on, say, any ranking or what my preferences are according to the countries. What's the next step?
So, as you have told that you have identified your area of interest through previous experiences, then जैसे मैं research internships वगैरह की बात कर रहा था, so उसमें ये भी advantage है कि for example, अब मैं अगर अच्छे से इस चीज का आंसर दूं, जब मैं BSc फर्स्ट ईयर में IUAC गया था, so I had no experience, I had no idea how to apply, and like even मेरा कोई senior नहीं बाहर गया था, मैं किसी से पूछ नहीं सकता था, and because I was just in BSc first year, I don't have direct relations with my professors, and I was like a bit nervous to ask them questions again and again. तो इन research projects का ये फायदा है कि जैसे मैं IUAC में गया फॉर एग्जांपल, वहाँ पे मेरे जैसे 15 और स्टूडेंट्स थे, मेरी उनसे इंटरेक्शन हुई, और क्योंकि जो भी रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हैं उनकी एम यही है कि दे फर्दर वांट टू परस्यू रिसर्च. सो आपका एक तरह से you have a network of like-minded persons, then you share the opportunities with each other. जैसे मैंने पहले IUAC गया, then I got to know कि हाँ ये ऐसे भी इंटर्नशिप्स अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, ऐसे स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस लिखना है, यू टॉक टू पीपल, यू हैव अ वाइड नेटवर्क, एंड दोस प्रोफेसर्स कैन आल्सो हेल्प यू जो जहाँ पे आप इंटर्नशिप कर रहे हो. सो कमिंग बैक टू द मेन क्वेश्चन कि what are the further steps for applying to a PhD position or anything. So you have to contact a professor for that. So अगर मैं अपने किसी भी प्रोफेसर को कांटेक्ट करने के लिए थोड़े बहुत टिप्स देने हो, so you have to be informative. So for example, these professors in any university, like अगर हम इंडियन यूनिवर्सिटीज की बात करें, they are very 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 busy, so they are not going to read a random email. For example, here you get like so much random emails, and just by reading the email आप बता सकते हो कि ये ना एक कॉपी पेस्ट वाली ईमेल है. So a lot of students क्या करते हैं कि they write like a journal email that, dear professor, I am interested in working in your lab, and by reading you can say कि ये copy paste वाली email है, and then it will be gone into junk. So you have to address the professor by their name. So dear professor XYZ, then you have to be concise. In the first email, you have to be concise. उनके पास इतना टाइम नहीं है कि आपके 2 पेज पढ़ें. So you have to be concise कि हाँ, अगर मैं किसी भी email की बात करूँ, I can divide it into 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph will be that about yourself, that I am a student of XYZ university, मैं इस कोर्स में पढ़ रहा हूँ, and this is my CGPA. In the second paragraph, I would tell the professor that I want to do a research project with them. So हर प्रोफेसर की एक वेबसाइट है. If you go on the website, they have potential or available student projects. Then you can go through all the student projects, and then you have to tell the professor that you are interested in this research project. And अगर आपके पास उस research project के relevant experience है, then you should mention that as well. That you know I want to do in nuclear physics, और मैंने 2 साल पहले similar field में मैंने काम किया है with this professor. And in the third paragraph, you will ask them about these PhD applications, and you can say that I'm interested in doing PhD with you, and if you can contact me by this email, and I am interested in. And अगर आपने मान लो उनका कोई research paper पढ़ा है, you can mention that as well, because उससे पता लगता है कि this student is interested. This student is interested in in my field. अगर आपने जैसे मैं बोल रहा था कि इवन कि मुझे यहाँ पे कई ईमेल्स आती हैं फ्रॉम अ लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स. इट्स नॉट फ्रॉम ओनली फ्रॉम इंडिया बट फ्रॉम अदर कंट्रीज एज वेल, कि आई एम थिंकिंग कि उन्होंने ये भी नहीं देखा कि ये किसी प्रोफेसर को ईमेल कर रहे हैं या किसी पीएचडी स्टूडेंट को. सो yeah, these are the points while emailing. And another thing is that don't contact everyone in the same department. So professors, like any human, they are social beings. So मान लो कि आपने they talk to each other. मान लो कि किसी प्रोफेसर को आपकी एप्लीकेशन पसंद आई, and then you send same emails to other people. Then they will talk and they will say that yeah, मुझे इंडिया से ये बच्चे का आया था. And then the other person will say yeah, the same person contacted me. And then आपके जो अच्छा impression भी होगा, then that will go to zero कि यार ये तो मेरी फील्ड में इंटरेस्टेड नहीं है, तो सबको कह रहा है कि मैं उनकी फील्ड में इंटरेस्टेड हूँ. So these are like some of the points. And then obviously you need to include the resume, your good concise 2-page CV in the email. And so कई बार क्या होता है कि they have a opening like on their website that they say that we are looking for PhD students. Then you have to address the requirements for that opening. And if you are asking for a research opportunity, then you have to state specifically your interest in that research group. And then obviously you have to be resilient, you have to be patient. And while sending emails, one thing I was recommended by one of my seniors in France, that timing matters a lot. For example, अगर आपने किसी प्रोफेसर को ईमेल करनी है and then you send an email on Friday evening, the chances of that email not getting read is like a lot, because जब तक Monday को प्रोफेसर आएगा, because in European countries or in these countries they don't usually work on Saturday Sundays, they don't even check their emails. So जब तक प्रोफेसर ने Monday को आना है, they have like 20 emails from past and your email will be on the bottom. So it is like, as a recommendation, it is good to email the professor on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. And yeah, then go for it. Then if the professor is interested, then you apply for the university.
Those were some really good tips about how to write an email. And Shankar, next what I want to know is we need a statement of purpose or an SOP is required whenever we are applying outside. So can you tell us something how to make our SOP outshine or how to make our SOP more effective and noticeable?
Yeah. So statement of purpose में अगर हम बात करें, then even in statement of purpose you have to divide it into some parts. So if you like just Google statement of purpose for PhD application, there are a lot of there are a lot of statements. Don't copy paste them, obviously, because so after अगर आपके प्रोफेसर ने हाँ कह दिया, then you apply to the university and then your selection is by admission committee. So जो admission committee वो हर साल ऐसे ही आपके जैसे ही 500,000 बच्चों के statement of purpose पढ़ते हैं. So जब वो पढ़ते हैं, then know easily, because obviously they have so much experience that this is copy pasted or not. So the first thing about statement of purpose is don't copy paste. Obviously you can take recommendations, you can see how to structure it, but don't copy paste it, and it should be personal to you. That why do you want to do this research? So इसमें जैसे by the name statement of purpose, says कि आपको ये PhD पोजीशन क्यों करनी है, उसके 2-3 रीजंस हो सकते हैं. Then you can, if you have a research experience, you should mention that. So एक तरह से what is the statement of purpose? Statement of purpose is a way to sell yourself. उसमें आप अपने बारे में बताओगे कि हाँ जी, I did this research project, इसके साथ मैंने किया था, उसमें मैंने इस चीज को स्टडी किया था, जिससे मुझे इस फील्ड में बहुत इंटरेस्ट है. Then if you have faced any hardships during your masters or bachelors, which will be very, very specific for this COVID era for all the students, then you have to mention that how COVID has affected you. And then because you don't want it to be negative, then you also have to mention, उसको एक तरह से positive way में देना है कि although COVID has affected me and I was not able to do this research project, but how did you use that time accordingly? Then you have to like mold it according to that. And then yeah, I think that covers like the main things. Then you have to obviously mention the statement of purpose why you are applying to that university, which is very, very important. कि हाँ, मान लो कि you are applying for Oxford. Why Oxford? और why that research group? क्योंकि दुनिया में उस फील्ड में बहुत सारे इंसान काम कर रहे हैं. Then why that? You have to like answer that as well.
Shankar, also one very important question is regarding scholarship. You apply to an institute, the institute may or may not offer scholarship. I know you got selected in a number of institutes with scholarship. Can you please guide our audience regarding this subject?
Yeah, so scholarships, obviously it's very, very, very important thing when you apply for a PhD position. So getting admission is a little bit easier as compared to getting scholarships. So the easiest to get scholarships is in Europe. So if any university offers you a PhD, they have to pay you. That's a rule in Europe. So if you are selected in Europe, then you will be getting a scholarship. So then next we talk about Australia and UK. So if Australia or UK में options ये हैं कि after you get the admission, your application is given to the scholarship committee, and then they interview you, and depending upon the interview, the scholarship is given to you or not. So in admission it does not matter this much your marks, but in scholarship it matters a lot. So क्योंकि मुझे अब यहाँ पे आके internal process के बारे में थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा पता लगा है. So the internal process is that कि the first way they shortlist a student is according to their marks. क्योंकि वो आपको जानते नहीं हैं. They don't know anything about you. They don't know your aptitude or anything. So how would they judge you? They would judge you by your institute and by your marks. So basically, depending upon so they have ranked your institutes जहाँ से आपने masters or bachelors की है into different categories. So उन categories की different factors होते हैं. For example, if you are in the top institutes, you will be multiplied by 10 as an example. So both the things matter. जितने अच्छे marks होंगे और जितनी अच्छी institute होगी, that will matter a lot. And obviously your interview also matters a lot. So, and in US, again, it's the same thing that you get scholarship by the university. But in US, there is another thing which is called TA or RA, which is research assistant or teaching assistant, that sometimes your professor don't have money or funding and the university doesn't have scholarship. So उसमें क्या कर सकते हो आप कि आप as a research assistant or teaching assistant वहाँ पे job कर सकते हो, जिसमें आप कोई ज़्यादा काम नहीं होता. Teaching assistant उसको tutorials लेने होते हैं, which is like 2 or 3 hours every week, जिसमें आप you have to obviously prepare for another 2 to 3 hours and you get like paid for that. So US or Canada में that is another option. And the last option is कि अगर आपके professor के पास funding हो, so he can give you from his research funding. So that you have to obviously discuss during your emails with the professor. And the fourth thing is that there are some scholarships which you can apply for. For example, DAAD scholarship, which is like country-specific scholarships. Then we have this Commonwealth scholarship for studying in any university. in UK. Then you have Gates Cambridge Scholarship, which is for studying in Cambridge University. So you can apply for these scholarships as well, which are external scholarships. So I got my PhD selection in. So obviously, when you are applying, you want to apply for a number of institutes, क्योंकि आपको नहीं पता कि where you will be selected or not. So I applied to a number of institutes. For example, I applied to Oxford, I applied to Bristol, I applied to Toronto University, I applied to obviously ANU. So I got selected in all these institutes, but with full scholarship, except the Toronto University in Canada, where I got like 50% of the scholarship. And after I got offer from like all these good universities, I selected according to the research group. कि कहाँ पे, you know, the research group is good and what kind of field I like.
Shankar, one more question I would like to ask is, we need recommendations from our professors. So can you suggest how to approach a professor for a good recommendation, or like you said, you need to have a network with the professors, with students. So what are some tips and tricks to get a good and noticeable recommendation from a professor?
Yeah, so it's a really good question. And जब भी आप किसी भी प्रोफेसर को अप्रोच करते हो, so it is like two or three things that matters. How do the professor know you? जहाँ तो आपने उसके subject में, he was your teacher and you did very good in his subject, so you can ask him for a recommendation. Then he can mention in the recommendation that how well you did. और दूसरी चीज़ है कि that you talk to them about some research project, you do some work with them. That is where these research projects and internships also come. That क्योंकि आपने उनके साथ काम किया है, आपने उनके साथ research की है, so it is very easy for them to explain how well you are. लेकिन for example कि जैसे मैंने BSc first year में मैंने apply करना था, so I don't know a lot of professors. So in the starting you have to contact only your course जो आपका course ले रहे हैं, उन्हीं professors को आप contact कर सकते हो. And then there you have to be like, yeah, you need to like shine in a way during the coursework so that the professor gives you a very good recommendation. And then as you go into more about in your BSc and MSc, it is like a little bit easy because then more professors know you. And then another thing that I was mentioning earlier, that you know कि आपके उस professors के साथ अच्छे relations हैं या नहीं हैं. By अच्छे relations I don't mean in a personal way, but in an academic way. That does the professor knows you? For example, in a class of 60, do he even know that who this student is? So again, there's if you like talk to the professor after hours, you know, you can ask him research questions regarding to them, or you can even ask, like, professors are always willing to help. You can even tell them that, yeah, you know, you are applying for this internship and you want a recommendation letter. They're quite honest, and if they don't know you, they will say no to your face. But you know, just go and ask. There is no harm in asking. Just, you know, have a schedule an appointment with them and go and talk to them.
So Shankar, we have talked about everything now, but one question still remains, that some people are pursuing masters but they don't have any research experience, but they do want to apply abroad. So what should they do?
So those students should apply for masters in France and Germany. So France or Germany में 1 year masters है. So basically masters is of 2 years, but those students who have done masters in India, they can directly apply for the second year of masters in France and Germany. तो उसका benefits ये है कि एक तो ये है कि क्योंकि आपके पास research experience नहीं है, तो directly PhD में apply करना it's a little bit tough. So when you go to a French university or a German university, you are going to a better university, and secondly you are getting a research experience from that university as well. और बहुत बार होता क्या है कि if you are working hard and the professor likes you and you like the professor, your research जो आप research internship करते हो उसको PhD में convert कर दिया जाता है. Another benefit of this program is that obviously you have to apply for the scholarship, you get the scholarship. But even then, if you don't get the scholarship, just saying if you don't get the scholarship, it's rule in Europe that when you are doing the research project, you will get paid. So जो आपके जो 6 months हैं जिसमें आप research project कर रहे हो, you will be get paid, and you only have to you have to pay for your living expenses for the first 4 months, which is like 50,000-60,000 per month. And as we know, in Europe there is no fee for there's no university fee. So that is a really good option for the students who are like in masters and they don't have an option to get research experience right now. And some of my classmates, they went for these option, and now they are doing their PhDs in really good universities.
So finally, Shankar, what would you suggest to your juniors or anyone looking to apply abroad for PhD as a takeaway from the entire talk of yours?
So I would say कि अगर आपके पास time है, get research experience, and for applying for PhD, start early. Don't lose hope. Be resilient. Don't send bulk emails, and do your homework while targeting a PhD position.
Okay, Shankar, thank you so much for taking out time and joining us today in this talk with us. You can contact Shankar for any queries you have. We have provided his email ID in the description below. You can also leave your queries or questions in the comment section below. So thank you so much, Shankar, for joining us, and I wish you all the very best for all your future endeavors.
Thanks a lot, Tamya.